Want what? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. What's she up to now? Also known as Pajama Grandma in my warm flannel shirt because it snowed again last night. That means it's snowy outside. And sometimes I just need to feel cozy, cozy, cozy. So, warm flannel shirt today and flannel pajamas, bottoms. Don't see those, but I will admit it. So, what do you want? Last night, I was feeling a little under the weather and I sat down every once in a while, a couple times a year for sure, but usually more often than that, I just sit down and I brainstorm out a list of what I want. What do I want? And I want a sip of coffee. And it's eerily interesting how my list has similarities yet differences on it from lists that I've made, 20, 30, even 40 years ago. It's kind of interesting, some of the things. But I try to hit all of the key areas of my life, my physical, my mental, my spiritual, my emotional, my relationships, my contribution, my financial. I try to hit all the different aspects of my life and I don't draw them all out and make it all formal. I just start brainstorming a list of, okay, well, what is it that I want? And I then go back and I look at, okay, well, what order did I write things down in? Because that gives me a little indication, a little insight into what is most important, what priority-wise is coming up in my mind the most. Now, is it because that is the thing I'm the furthest away from, or is it because that is the thing I really desire and I prioritize and I want the most? And we can take our brainstorm list and we can ask questions about why did those things come up, when did they, in what order they came up, and they might give us insight and they might not. It's different for each of us. It depends how often you do certain exercises, whether they're effective or they work for you or not. Now, brainstorming might not work for you at all. It might be something that you're like, that's just ridiculous. Why would I brainstorm what I want? Or why would I write down what I want? And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to write it down, but you're crazy not to. Because all of the most successful people on the planet write shit down. They write it down. They don't necessarily share it with anybody, but they write it down because writing things down is the first action, the first step in creating those things. I work with my coaching students, and I have some that, will resist writing things down. I've got one in particular that resists writing things down. Yet he is my most struggling coaching student because he is so resistant. He's resistant to even the writing something down. And if you're resistant to even writing something down, guess what? You're resistant to everything else. So everything else that you're trying to do, you will resist personally. I don't even have to help you resist it. You'll do it all by yourself. You'll do it automatically. You'll resist making the changes, doing the things that you want to see happen in your life. And yep, you really, really want them and you really, really think about wanting them, but they don't happen because of just a little area of resistance. And that's what I've been trying to teach them, is that sometimes you just have to do things even if you don't understand why you're doing them, because they have that profound an effect on you. I learned that from my dad a long, long time ago. When we were little girls, he always told us the importance of writing your goals down, writing things down. Sorry, I'm running late today. And that stuck with me, and I realized throughout my life how powerful that has been. When I write things down, when I write them out, when I do a little planning, the results that I want to achieve come so much quicker, so much more easily, and so much faster than if I don't plan it out at all or write it down. If I just expect the world to deliver to me anything I can imagine and I don't do anything to move toward that, it's not going to happen. So what do you want? Have you done that exercise? Do you do that exercise on a regular basis where you just list out all the things that you want? I mean, you could probably focus on and write down all the things that you want and all the things that you're grateful for every single day, and that would be probably one of the best ways you could spend your time, is just in the morning, first thing in the morning, or before bed, writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, or writing, what's my number one thing that I need to do tomorrow. If you go to bed with that in your mind, just write down on a note card by your bed or a little piece of paper by your bed, what's the number one goal or number one thing I need to do tomorrow. That will, number one, it gets your subconscious mind working on it all night long. I mean, it's just a little simple thing, a little simple strategy you can use, but most people won't do it. Most people won't even think about what they need to do tomorrow when they go to bed. They're so exhausted at the end of the day, they just drop into bed and hopefully fall asleep unless they've got 8 million things going through their head. I remember in my, 'm, uh, Italian food manufacturing days, I usually had like 3 hours worth of brain going nonstop before I could fall asleep at night because I had so many things going through my head about what had to get done, who had to do what, and I hadn't written it all down. And if I wrote it down, I could get to sleep. If I hadn't written it down, I wasn't getting to sleep. So what do you want? I'd say take 2 minutes today. Take 1 minute today and write down just 3 things that you want, that you really, really want, that if you could have anything, what would they be? And then ask yourself, why do I want those things? Why did I write those things down? Why are they important to me? Because the only reason you'll ever take any action toward getting those things is because you have a reason why you want them. If you just wrote them down, you write down a Lamborghini, because everybody else writes down a Lamborghini, and you don't really even care about cars. Like, I don't even care about cars. I used to think I wanted a Lamborghini when I was in my 20s and 30s. Now, and then I had kids, and I'm like, why would I want a Lamborghini? I couldn't even drive one kid around with me in a car seat. Who's going to drive a Lamborghini with a car seat? Nobody. And once I had 2 kids, forget about it. That went off my list forever. And, I don't even think you could give me a Lamborghini. I wouldn't want one. I mean, I think there's sweet looking rides, but I wouldn't want one. Too fast, too much power, don't need it. Don't want to go that fast. Gets me sick to my stomach. So, write down what do you want, and then ask yourself, why do I want that? And if you happen to find out that you don't really even want that, you just wrote it down because you thought you should write it down, like, I want $1 billion business. Do you really want $1 billion business and all that goes along with that? Or do you just want enough money to be able to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whomever you want? What do you really, really want? Or do you just write down, I want $1 million or $1 billion business because that's what everybody else says that you should want? And if it's not what you really want, just put a little X through it and write down what you really, really want, right? And then ask yourself why. And that'll get you moving toward what it is that you really want and how you make your life and makes it happy for you. Because guess what? Nobody else, no coach, no guru, no expert, no influencer, nobody is living your life for you. Only you are. And what's right for you is different than what's right for everybody else, because we all have our own set of experiences and circumstances and desires, and that's what makes you you. So embrace being you and go for what you want. And if you can learn from other people and how they got what they want and that helps you in your journey, great, learn from them. But don't ever try to be them. Don't ever live vicariously through other people. I think there's nothing more pathetic than when you see parents living vicariously through their children, trying to make them great athletes or stars or little beauty queens or something, because that is something that they wanted, not ever even paying attention to or knowing if that's something that their child wants. I think that that's just sad and pathetic, and people think that other people don't see that that's what they're doing, and actually they might not even know that that's what they're doing. That's the really sad thing. So just spend some time thinking about what you want. If I can help you with that, hit me up. I've done a lot of work on different tools and different strategies and different things that have helped me move forward in my life and have helped me let go of the stuff that everybody else thinks I should want and embrace the things that I really, really want. Because there's some things I really, really want that go on the back burner because of other people's needs and other people's desires. And then I ask myself, am I really going in the right direction with what I'm doing and creating? Is that really what I want? Or am I just being sidetracked by what other people think and what other people are teaching me? And, I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I have to stop, put on the brakes, and back up and say, no, that's not what I want to do. So, BP Challenge today was all about handling conflict. Handling, not conflicts with other people necessarily, but handling conflicting information. Because if you're studying or looking into anything with the internet nowadays, you won't find just 1 or 2 opinions or sources on it. You'll find thousands. So how are you going to cut through all the noise and find out with all the different information and all the different conflicting information? Because a lot of it, one says blue, one says red, one says black, one says white. How do you decide what's really right and what's really right for you, bottom line? So we talked about how to handle conflict today. And what else? Rocking the boat was Supersize Your Business today. That was kind of a fun one, because I think that you need to rock the boat. You need to be a disruptor. You need to be you if you are going to ever stand out, ever create what it is that you want in your life, and ever be happy. And that's bottom line. Bottom line is everything we do should be so that we're having a happy, fun experience in our lives, right? I don't know how we get convinced, and I got convinced for a couple of decades, how we get convinced that we're just supposed to trudge on and do all this stuff and be kind of miserable and just suck it up and then live for the weekends. I don't know how or when we got brainwashed to believing that was the way to live, but I'm going to say stop the insanity. No, we're really supposed to be happy. We're really supposed to be looking for ways and going through this life and making choices and decisions and moving toward the things that make us happy. And that in and of itself makes the people around us and the people we interact with have a happier, better life experience. So it's up to us. It's actually our duty to be happy and to spread ourselves and our unique perspective of the world and our happiness and joy with other people. So that was the rock the boat one. I think it's up to us to disrupt people in a positive way, not in a negative way. So that's what I'm working on. And part of why I went back to what do I want is I'm reevaluating what I'm creating in the world. I've done a lot in the last couple of years. I've done courses and coaching and seminars and online events and summits, women's summits, and an attempt to figure out where do I fit? Where do I want to fit? What do I want to be? Who do I want to serve if I'm in this online world? And I had a mass realization yesterday that, and I've had it before, but it really hit home yesterday, that guess what? Business is business. People are people. Online or offline, it's all the same. It's all about building relationships, serving people, and doing the best you can to make the world a better place. And that, in and of itself, makes me feel happy, and that's what I want to do. So am I wanting to do, last year I wanted to do 5 summits this year. Did one this year, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do 5 summits this year. It was fun. I learned a lot. It was very valuable, very educational, but that's not how I want to spend my time. That's not what I want to produce, and that's not how I want to add value to the world or the internet world or the noise of all the information and all the noise that's out there. I don't want to contribute in a negative way to all the noise. I want to find ways, I'm going to put that on my want list, to contribute in a positive way to the noise and everything that's going on in the world. So, interesting changes. We're always going through changes. We just don't always identify that, oh, it's time for a change. I am now identifying it is time for some changes and some time for some changes of direction in my thinking, in my life, in my lifestyle, in my beliefs, my patterns of belief. Guess what? I have to reevaluate my beliefs just like everybody else on the planet every once in a while and say, is that serving me? Yes or no? Because I've got some limiting beliefs that are not serving me right now that I need to kill and let go of once and for all. And guess what? Will they still pop up and rear their ugly heads? Yes, because that's what beliefs do. They come back up when we least expect them to test us and find out if we're serious. And I am definitely serious. So if I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow to pop in and give you a little journey journal update on what I am up to now, what's working, what's not, what is giving me fits and what's not. It looks like YouTube has finally lined out their new beta testing and rolled out their new uploading program. And there's some quirks in it that I don't like, but I, of course, like everything else, will figure out how to make it work for me and how to do a little workaround. I already figured it out a little bit, but I don't like that I don't have access to my tag lists anymore. And so what I'll do is I will just create a file where I save them all, create my tag list, and just copy and paste. So problem solved, right? There's always a solution. That's it. Have an amazing day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.